Jacksonville.
Inside handoff, that is Saquon Barkley. Broke a tackle, go for it. The ball came out. The ball is picked up by Trayvon Walker. The ball is fumbled, and Trayvon is running it back. He's still on his feet. Trayvon at the 20. Trayvon at the 15. Trayvon at the 10. Trayvon is into the end zone. That's going to be a touchdown. Trayvon Walker picked it up and ran it back, and the Jags are in the end zone again. Dropping is Trevor. Looking, scrambling. Trevor's going to try and run it in there. He's into the end zone. Touchdown. A touchdown run by Trevor Lawrence, and it's a one-possession game with 4:04 to play in the ball game. Dropping is Trevor. Looking. Fires toward the left corner of the end zone. That ball is intercepted in the back of the end zone.
We kept fighting. We're resilient, and it's tough, when you find a way to get back in the game and you have an opportunity and it finishes that way. But I really am super proud to be a part of that group, and got a lot of fight, and we just got to find a way to finish these games. We've had so many one-score games that haven't gone our way because of some plays down the stretch, and so it's tough.
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Jeff Lageman, and Dylan Denmark.
All right, welcome in, everyone. A Check the Tape Tuesday trade deadline coming up at 4 o'clock today. Will any other Jaguars be on the move? I'm Mike Dempsey. Tony Smith is here, as always. Good morning, Tone.
Good morning.
How are things?
All good.
Good. Logs is back in studio with us. Good to see you.
Good to be seen.
You been out in the woods?
No.
No, not yet?
No. A little bit last week, but hopefully next week.
Okay.
Yeah. Might be doing this via Opal next week.
All right. There you go. He'll be in a deer blind or a deer stand near you.
Yeah.
Pockets, you been out in the woods at all?
Negative.
Good.
I've been on the football field.
Because you're up to no good when you're out there, man. I know you're not a hunter. So how's the coaching coming along?
Well, I guess we are going to practice for an opponent that we hope to play next week because the playoffs come out on Saturday.
You don't know yet if you're in? Like, how does that – is that like a vote? Or? No,
it's the strength of schedule, so we're an 8th seed, and the 9th seed lost last week. So we're pretty sure we're in. But last time we did this, we thought we were going to play a team. We exchanged film and broke down 10 hours of film, and we were not going to play that team because the schedule came out and said we're not going to play this team. So,
well, let me know who you got so I know who to root for.
I got
all right?
you.
Thank you. Appreciate that very, very much. All right, Logs, just general impression before we get into specifics of what you saw. I feel like almost every week it's a tale of a couple different halves.
Yeah, but this was so different.
It was starkly different. One of the worst offensive halves we've ever seen in Jaguars history.
Like terrible.
And then a comeback where it felt like they were the team that had all the momentum, and they did.
Yeah, you had it. I mean, you had it. I mean, it's crazy to think that, they really didn't even deserve to be in that game, the way they were playing. And Sirianni, I think, really gave them a gift by essentially leaving 8 points out there that he should have taken every chance of taking the points when he could have. And he didn't. And it just gave the Jaguars an opportunity to stay in it. And the defense, look, I know they gave up a lot of yards rushing, the highest total yet this year. Saquon had a great day. But, you feel like the defense gave him a chance. As bad as the offense was, the defense gave him a chance. And the defense really rose up in the second half, getting the ball back to the offense and gave the ball back to them in great field position after the missed field goal. That was a 57-yarder. And you think, all right, time to win a game. Game over.
And the defense scored.
Yeah.
So the defense, gave up 28, but it's like a net 21. And did they get a 2-pointer after that one? So it's kind of like a net 20 that they were responsible for. So,
and then for the offense to go down the field, and you're like feeling good about it. And then on a 1st and 10 with a minute 40 plus on the clock, you throw the ball into a 50-50 situation is stupidity.
So at that point, J.P. Shadrick and I are sitting there in the Miller Electric Center. I'm sure people were thinking the same thing elsewhere. With 1:42 to go, Philly's got their timeouts, but do you almost want to run it at least once, make them burn a timeout? Maybe you pick up 5 yards. Maybe you run it in.
Yeah, I'm not against that. I mean, and I think, could you have done that there? Sure. Yeah, you could have. The one thing I think you're always worrying about, first and foremost, is scoring.
Sure.
And I'm not saying that you're not going to, if you run the ball, that means that you're not trying to score. But, the whole mindset needs to be let's score here.
And get it as quickly as possible to assure that we get it.
Yeah, we'll worry about, playing defense if we have to at that point. And the last play for the Jaguars offensively, it was a sloppy route. If it was supposed to be a wheel route, it didn't look anything like a wheel route. There was essentially no deception to the route to throw off the man coverage of Nakobe Dean. And I'm sitting there going, is that supposed to be a wheel route?
Well, let me ask you, in your opinion,
let me just real quick describe a wheel route for people.
Okay.
Because a lot of people are like, what is a wheel route? So a wheel route is essentially where the running back is trying to sell that he's trying to get to the flat in a hurry, okay? Either like an quick out, or just a flat route. And what you're trying to do is to get the linebacker to commit 100 miles an hour to getting to the out, because he has a little ways to go from inside out to be able to get there. And then once he gets to the out, then he essentially plants his foot and then gets vertical up the field. So it's kind of like an out and up, but it's called a wheel route by a running back because it's not really an out. It's more of a flat route, and then he turns and wheels and goes up the field. Wasn't a very good route, and then it was very clear from looking at it that the coverage was on spot. So at that point, as a quarterback, it's 1st and 10. Throw it away. Do anything but throw a 50-50 ball in that situation.
How do you feel about the third string running back being the guy who's on the field in that circumstance?
I don't criticize that so much, because Dearness Johnson's a good football player, and he's proven time and again that he's a good football player and he can make the plays. My whole thing on that one is that, look, if you're going to throw a 50-50 ball, it's got to be to Brian Thomas Jr., it's last-second desperation, it's Justin Jefferson, it's Jamar Chase. You got to throw it to a dude. You can't throw it to a running back. That's not his specialty, is catching 50-50 balls. So, that was disappointing. And, I think that if they could have that one back, they obviously would make a different call.
Should Dearness Johnson have continued the route up towards, the corner?
No, the ball was essentially thrown underthrown, so I understand what you're saying, to keep kind of going.
Yeah, keep going.
But, it wouldn't have made a difference to where the ball was thrown. The ball was essentially kind of underthrown, and Nakobe Dean has just as much right to make the catch as anybody, and so he basically posts up and makes a rebound and out positions Dearness Johnson in that situation. And I just disappointing that you would even make that throw. Just given the circumstances, given the time on the clock, given the down and distance, it was a bad decision to make that throw. Plain and simple.
You mentioned Brian Thomas Jr. I thought maybe he's out there like a decoy, right? He played the most snaps of any receiver on the team. I think he played 49 offensive snaps.
Yeah.
Do they just have to do a better job devising a game plan? I get it. The defense is going to dictate where the ball goes. Well, sometimes you have a special player. You got to dictate where the ball goes, don't you?
Absolutely. And totally agree with you on that. And, I know that Doug talked about that the Eagles played cloud coverage on him. And for people that don't know, essentially you're kind of doubling him or having a safety over the top. But there were instances in that ballgame where they did not do that. And when they don't do that, I think as a quarterback, even if he's not the primary, you have to have an awareness that, hey, look, that's number 7. He's really good. I'm going to take a peek over there and see what's going on. Okay, I love progressions and love the primary and all that, but number 7 is special. And so I think that falls on quarterback, and I also think that falls on coaches to make sure that you're making him an important part of the game plan. And, yes, there are times where you're not going to throw it if there's 2 guys over there, but there's also times where there's not two guys over there. And if he's not the primary, he needs to become the primary because he's such an exceptional player. And if you go back and you look at some of the slow starts that this football team has had this year, the one guy that seems to have gotten them out of those situations and out of those funks has been Brian Thomas Jr. His big plays have really ignited this football team.
All right, if you want to get in today with Jeff Lageman on a Check the Tape Tuesday, 641-1010 on the Garber Auto Mall phone lines. You can get in with your questions, comments, and we have a bunch of them coming in on social media as well. 641-1010, not only for the Garber Auto Mall phone lines, but for the text line. designed by Lifetime Enclosures. You can hop in the YouTube virtual studio chat as well and post your thoughts over there, or on the Twitter or X platform at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, at Logs56, and at 1010XL Denmark.
Ain't no laws when you're drinking claws, baby.
All right, so Jags getting ready to host the Minnesota Vikings. We'll look ahead to that later on in the show, but we'll break it down. If you've got questions about why something happened the way it did, Jeff Lageman's the man here to talk to on a Check the Tape Tuesday. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
For the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios at 1010XL. Someone's going to win a tailgate combo pack from Southern Steer Butcher, valued at $100, and it could be you. Yes! Every month you'll have a shot at a Corona tailgate tent with a cooler chair and a collectible football. It's the ultimate tailgate. Enter at 1010XL.com.
Our slogan, Know Before You Blow, applies to more than just DUI cases. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett of Lockett Law. Battery charges can result in jail time and criminal convictions too, so know before you blow a gasket and hit a loved one or a stranger. Drug crimes like possession of marijuana and cocaine will land you in cuffs too, so know before you blow. In a boating under the influence case, you also have the option to blow or not to blow. So know your options. Know before you blow. Go to knowbeforeyouBlow.com now. Offices Jacksonville.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called the Vault. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows. One winner and a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents in 50 United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry periods for the Shadow Sweepstakes promotion from 8/19/24 to 12/15/24. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsored administrator, Everbank NA, member FDIC.
This is Hayes Carlyon for Skylife Elite. Have you ever thought about aircraft ownership as another potential revenue stream and as a tool for tax savings? Put your tax money to work for you while enjoying the benefits of private personal travel. Skylife Elite has over a decade of experience in business aviation and can guide you through the process with their expert staff. Call my friends over at Skylife Elite at 490-9332 or find them at flyskylife.com to get the rundown on everything owning an airplane can do for you.
Imagine beautiful new windows and doors that elevate your space and keep you comfortable year-round. At Renewal by Anderson, we specialize in custom-built, energy-efficient windows and doors that are crafted to last. Right now, for a limited time, save 20% off your entire project. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free in-home consultation today. Restrictions apply. License number CGC 1527613.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Want to grow your hair back?
IHRS, right here in Jacksonville, is the only hair transplant clinic in the country that offers multi-unit hair grafting, FUE NeoGraft hair transplants, and the 45-minute effective PRP treatments.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
Thank you, IHRS.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Schedule a free evaluation and find out how to grow your hair back and keep the hair you have. Call 904-777-IHRS. Take the first step to restoring your hair today. Visit hairforme.com.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
IHRS has been restoring hair for men and women for over 30 years.
Call now for a free in-person or virtual evaluation. 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Or visit hair4me.com.
Stay in touch with the stars of Coral Gables.
From South Beach to Jax Beach. Stay on A1A for the latest from Miami on the Hurricane Report.
Brought to you by Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
On 1010XL.
Welcome to ABS Advanced Business Solutions, your local print management partner and home to Xerox and HP copiers.
Advanced Business Solutions.
GoABSinc.com.
Now the Performance Painting High Performance Play of the Game. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
The Teal and Black were looking to grab the momentum right out of the city of brotherly love on Sunday, and it would be the defense that would take the Hearts right out of the stadium. Trayvon Walker would recover a fumble and take it 35 yards to the house for a touchdown, making the score 22-16 with 5:12 left in the third. The Trayvon Walker scoop and score is your Performance Painting play of the game.
Does the building you go to work in every day need a little love and attention? Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Great companies take great care of the buildings their staff and customers walk into every day. If the building you're in doesn't match the vision you have for your company, we can help. Go to performance-painting.com. Our highly trained team makes the difference. Quality coatings applied with pride.
Performance Painting. You don't have to be a football star to get a signing bonus. The team at Republic Services needs your skills, and they're paying up to $5,000 for you to join the roster. You'll be joining a winner. As an essential business, the Republic Services trucks have not stopped rolling with hourly and weekly pay and better benefits and vacation packages than the rest of the league. Driver trainees, $1,000 sign-on bonus. CDL drivers, $3,000. Diesel mechanics, $5,000 bonus. Join the winning team at Republic Services today. Visit republicservices.com.
Equal opportunity employer.
Oh my God. Oh, what's that horrible smell? Sorry. We've been waiting forever to have our septic tank pumped.
Call Duck Duck Rooter. We don't make you wait.
When you're stuck, call the duck. DuckDuckRooter.com.
What defines a hero? Dedication, loyalty, courage. Every day at AMCO, we serve heroes. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. From complex transmissions to simple brake jobs with flexible financing and the extra safety precautions we need. The heroes we serve don't all wear uniforms. They're people like you. At AMCO, we're proud to serve all of you. AA MCO.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at amcojacksonville.com.
Firefighters, paramedics, police officers. They take care of us, and at AMCO, we're proud to take care of them. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. As an essential business, we work on every kind of car repair with flexible financing and extra safety precautions. Essential, reliable, trusted. That's the men and women who are there for us, and it's our honor to be there for them. AA MCO.
Family owned and operated in Jacksonville, Orange Park, St. Augustine, and St. Mary's, Georgia. AMCO Transmissions and Total Car Care.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Jeff Lageman Tuesday
is brought to you by
Napa Auto Care on 1010XL.
All right, another mystery package is supposed to be arriving today, Tony.
Okay.
The world headquarters from Lily's dad, Mr. Physics. You may know him on social media on the X platform. So I guess we'll find out.
Oh, yeah.
What's coming later on today. 641-1010 if you want to get in on the Garber Auto Mall phone lines. It is a Check the Tape Tuesday, and we'll prioritize your questions for Jeff Lageman. We have plenty of our own, including a stack of them coming in already early on social media this morning. But we'll go to the lines first this morning, Jeff, and welcome Mac on the north side. First up today on Jaguars Today. Good morning, Mac.
Good morning, fellas. Let me see if I can hit these three quick things out. Jeff, thank you for coming to Jacksonville. I remember when they booed you at the draft. You got drafted by the Jets. We were driving. I had no faith. I knew we was going to blow. The Jaguars like the coyote. And last, Jacksonville has an NFL team. We're one of the 30 cities that's got an NFL team. And I'm good with that, man. Let's start over again in 2025.
Thank you, Mac. Hey, look, in the end, we got NFL football and
some teal glasses. Right?
But I'm saying, like, I had somebody in the post game tweet me, if I'm the mayor of city council, I'm trying to get out of this deal because you have a bad season. Like, you don't want the team anymore.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, it's way over the top, and look, you're entitled to feel that way if you want to, but in the end, Mac's like, you know what? I'm going to start it up again at 25, and we'll keep going. What about that? Did you think with the way the game was going that the Jags were going to score? I mean, it certainly felt that way, right? They're moving down. They're getting chunked plays, and they went down so quickly down the field. I thought the bigger risk was they're going to score, and then Philly's going to come back and get a field goal and win this thing.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I thought for sure they were going to score. I mean, that kind of I'd already decided that, and I'm sitting there just looking at the clock going, okay, let's make sure that you don't score too fast, because the Jaguars' defense has been known for late game failures of not stopping an opponent. And so I was very worried they would score too soon. I was kind of like you, Mike. In my mind, I had already figured out that they were going to score.
Right, doing the math on what do we want to leave Philadelphia. That's why I thought maybe running at least once, make them burn a timeout, or maybe not use a timeout in that circumstance. They probably would have.
5, I'm sitting there thinking, okay, once you score, go for 2, make it, a 3-point game.
Of course, that would have, without saying, that would have happened. Austin Tremmel made a big play on that drive, big catch on the final drive. He had the muff punt or the fumbled punt because he did secure possession of it before he got knocked out. But anyway,
I wasn't a fan of that.
He had 33. We'll get to that in a second. He had 33 offensive snaps, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Brenton Strange had 9.
Yeah, I don't like that.
What happened to the 12 personnel packages that were so effective the week before?
I don't know. I think that confused me because you got a guy that's on a practice squad. Which look, he had a marvelous preseason, and they felt really good about him. But to essentially elevate him and then put him in that prominent of a role right away and being the punt returner as well was kind of surprising. I thought that, look, Parker Washington, if you're worried about overstressing him, look, guys do that all the time. They double time and do punt returns because, there are packages on offense that he's not going to be involved in. So it's not like he's playing every snap. So I don't think you're worried necessarily about overusing him.
And certainly at the beginning of the game, he hasn't been on the field yet, right?
And that's so I wasn't a fan of Tremmel being back there. I was like, all right. And then I said this before the game earlier last week, and when kind of knew that Tremmel was going to be there, I'm like, I'd rather have Parker Washington back there, just fair catch it. If you're, just to be on the safe side. And it didn't work out that way, but I was kind of surprised that as successful as the personnel grouping was and as successful as Brenton Strange was and as good as he's been playing for this offense, that you would only find 9 snaps that he could help you. That was very surprising to me because I expected him to be at a 33 snap level and then Austin Tremmel to be at a 9 snap level.
That would have made more sense, at least based on the way we've seen it go so far this year. But all right, let's get back to the lines because they have a lot of questions for you this morning at 641-1010. Jay on the west side is next up on Jaguars Today. Good morning, Jay.
Good morning. I had a question for Jeff. What did you think about Josh Allen, Trayvon Walker, Josh Hines Allen, and Trayvon Walker stepping up this game? I think the D-line did okay this game. Not enough because, 200 yards is still bad, but rushing yards, but I think they stepped up. I think they showed their potential where they could be.
Yeah, and look, they were on the field a ton,
22 minutes in the first half.
I thought Trayvon played the run very strong. As a pass rusher, look, Lane Johnson's a really good player. Mm-hmm. And Lane Johnson got the better of him and Eric Armstead. I mean, Lane Johnson's like this impenetrable force. He's really good.
Yeah, you could see it. Like when Josh would come off the field, Trayvon would go, I'm going to the left side.
I want to go over there.
Yeah, like I'm not having to deal with this for a couple of snaps here. That's fine.
There. But, I mean, Lane Johnson just locked it down. And good player. And Josh took advantage of Fred Johnson at left tackle, had a good day. And Trayvon kind of made hay in other ways. The recovered fumble, which is debatable whether it was a fumble. We can have that debate at some point, but
it's officially a fumble now.
It was a great heads-up play and finishing the play because a lot of times in that situation, people kind of stop and go, oh, well, it's probably going to be a dead ball, and they stop really playing. And Trayvon didn't. And it was a fantastic return. He looked like a running back, all of that stuff, and it was great. But they had good games. And the 2 sacks that Josh got, I mean, one of them was a covered sack. And the second one, I'm trying to remember the second one that he got, was kind of I want to say it was like a combination rush. It was like a TE, and then he came underneath, so it was a good job kind of working in tandem with one of the other guys. So, but I mean, solid game by those 2 guys. And I think the guy that really had the best game out of all the defensive linemen was Devon Hamilton. And sometimes people would look at the numbers and say, how can he have had a good game based on the numbers, But look, the ball wasn't running in Devon Hamilton's gap. He had a very strong game. And you talk about one of the most dominant plays in the history of the NFL, which is the tush push. And the reason it wasn't working is because Devon Hamilton was jacking up Cam Jurgens. And I'm talking jacking him up. and did a great job with it. I think he single-handedly shut down the tush push in this ball game.
Interesting, because that was going to be my follow-up. What was the key to getting that done?
Yeah, I'm doing it on video this week because it was outstanding. I mean, literally, my buddy Reber always says that when the rear end is high, somebody's lower. Okay, so when you see that tush push, you got that everybody's got their heads down. They're trying to be the lowest man in the battle. And literally, Devon Hamilton was knocking the rear end of Cam Jurgens up and backwards because he was underneath of Cam Jurgens and jacking him up. I mean, it was impressive. I mean, every team in the NFL will now watch those two plays that he literally jacked up Cam Jurgens to say, we need to do what he did.
Yeah, Philly said as much after the game. We know it's coming. They're going to study what they did. And to the point where when they had a third opportunity, it was fourth and less than a yard. They threw. And, just like, all right, well, this is not working today. So,
yeah, and, it's kind of how good has the tush push been? I mean, look at the decisions.
Last year was 93.5%.
Yeah, and Sirianni, with and rightly so, with a 93% success rate, is going to go to it when, the whole – remember when Philadelphia was trying to draw the Jaguars
right,
off
to get them
sides,
to the 1 yard line
and
do the tush push. Right, and I don't blame them for doing it. No. Even up 16, you can make it a 3-score because if it's 90+% successful, you figure, all right, we missed this one, we'll get the next one.
Yeah,
almost guaranteed.
90+% successful, and now it's worth a point.
Right, an extra point.
Like it's not
top,
converting a fourth down.
Correct.
It's worth a point.
That's right.
In the game, right? Like, yeah, if you had a play where you could do that and they didn't do it, every time they had the opportunity, you'd be going, why isn't the coach just going with the play? Like, it was, I get why he would do it, but from a scoreboard perspective, you come out of the game and go, yeah, they gave away 8.
Yeah.
And they really did. They gave away 8. It felt like a game where Philadelphia had scored 40, right? Like, that's how it felt when you were watching the game. Now they wind up scoring the 28, and the Jags are driving with an opportunity to take a lead late in the game. But it was a game that, as you said when you came in, Jeff, like, it felt weird for the Jags to be in that position in that game because it felt like they had been beaten pretty soundly.
I had said kind of in our opening part of the game that, a high tide rises all boats and that Trevor needed to play exceptionally well in this ball game for them to beat Philadelphia because I had written down a number what the number of points that I thought Philadelphia was going to be able to score in this game, and that number was 36.
Yeah.
And if they had gotten those 8 points, they would have been right at 36. And obviously the tide didn't rise in Trevor's favor in this ball game.
No.
All right, let's get back to the calls here. Thomas on the west side, next on Jaguars Today. Good morning, Thomas.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good. What's up, man?
Now, I'll say this, and I'm going to bring some positive light to this. Jaguars are just as good as Kansas City. The only difference is with us is that we still got to learn how to finish. Because Kansas City's they ain't been playing their best ball. They just know how to finish towards the end of the game. And for us to go up there to Philadelphia and we were getting tore up, for us to come back and still have a shot, to me, I think overall we're a better team than we were like 10 years ago before the 2017 team. We would have got beat all up and down the field. This team is very competitive. All but 2 games. So basically, what we're doing, we're on the right path. Now, whether we get a new coaching change or a new general manager, but for the most part, this team is a lot better than our 2-7 record. Because we're right in these games. We're right there. It's just that we still got to learn how to finish at the end because we got talent. It ain't like the teams back in the early 2010s. We actually have talent. So I just want to give you that. I think Jaguars is going to be fine. Just keep doing what we're doing. And eventually we're going to get over that hump. And I don't know if y'all remember me, but I was the guy back in February that said that when Trevor Lawrence signed that we were going to be a dynasty. I still believe that. And I take my comments out there. Thanks,
all right, thanks, Thomas. They're not as good as Kansas City because knowing how to finish is part of the makeup of your team. Well, you can't just say, well, we're really good except for winning.
I don't think there's a more critical skill for a team to have in the National Football League than knowing how to finish games.
Yeah,
that's in a league where virtually all the games are decided by one score. Are you finishing over the other team and games were being decided by one score, or are you finishing under them? And the Jags this year are miserably bad in that category. Kansas City, every week they get in that situation, they're not going, oh, no, we can't do this again. Like Kansas City's like, they're in trouble because our guy has the ball now, and they're going to have to deal with us. And they're playing so good on defense on top of that. Like, everything is rolling for Kansas City. And Jacksonville, you're just waiting to see where the shoe's going to fall at the end of a game. And this week it happened to be the third-string running back running a wheel route. Like, that's what killed him this week, but that hadn't been the only thing that's killed him. It's been a different thing every week.
The reality is that you are what your record says you are. I mean, it's plain and simple. Okay, they keep score, and that tells you who wins and who loses, and you are what your record says you are.
I appreciate that Tommy is excited, right? In the pot, right? And, like, I hope you're right. And look, we're rooting for them to turn it around. But to me, the reality, you can look and go, okay, we've lost 5 games by 5 points or less, right? So you think in the positive frame of mind, well, we're going to swing that around. Maybe next year we'll win 3 out of 5 of those, or we'll win 4 out of 5 of those. What if instead you lose by 10 points or more next time, right? I mean, it doesn't, you're not always going to close the gap. Sometimes the gap's going to widen. And maybe, so every year is different. You got to take advantage of your opportunities when they're there. And the Jags have not proven to be able to do that this year.
The Buffalo game wasn't very good. The Chicago game wasn't good. Wasn't very good.
And he said those were the 2 outliers.
And if and it's hard to say that, okay, that those are just 2 outliers because they're all part of it. And on the flip side of things, if you're kind of thinking that way, well, this team is close, then you could say that teams that may have the opposite record, at 7-2, are really not that good because they've only been winning by 1-possession games. Yeah. I mean, so that's why I say you are what your record says.
That's the margin in the league. Yeah. Right, is essentially, are you a team that wins the 1-score games or a team that loses the 1-score games? That's the NFL. And that's how it's always been in the NFL. The Jags are bad because they lose all the 1-score games. That's why they're bad. Minnesota the last couple of years has been crazy good in 1-score games. And it's been to a point where they're competing for the 1 seed in the NFC. The last couple of years because of the record they had in those tight games. Now, does that mean they're going to be ultra successful in the playoffs? Obviously not. That's a team that has a lot of weaknesses if every week it's coming down to those clutch moments, but you at least feel okay about that team in the clutch moments. I don't know how you get to a point where you feel okay about Jacksonville in those moments unless they come through in a couple of them at some point.
Yep.
All right, let's take a time out here. If you're on the line, stay right there. We'll take you in the order in which your call came in at 641-1010 on the Garber Automall phone lines. This is a Check the Tape Tuesday with Jeff Lageman on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars
Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
Hi, I'm Chuck Farah. We know how important it is for you to have a vehicle after you've been injured in a car accident. So when we represent you for your personal injury claim, we'll help you get a rental car from the insurance company while your car is being repaired. And we'll provide this service at no additional fee. If you're hurt and you've got no car, let my team go to work for you. Farah & Farah, protecting you and your family. Call us at 396-5555 or go to farahandfarah.com. Jacksonville.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Let's start the debate. Why would someone buy a new car from you? We have an exclusive 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty on every new vehicle. We offer a competitive wow price plus free oil changes. How much will someone get for their trade? We offer more than $4,000 over KBV value. Well, we never lose a trade over price. Okay, when is the best time to buy a car? Right now. Ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't matter which side you pick. At Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet, you get it all. Let us show you why we're the winning vote.
Hey gang, Prosser here, telling you once again about Chad and Sandy Newman. Mortgage rates are down, creating more active buyers and sellers. If you've been waiting, now is a great time to sell your home before more homes flood the market, driving down prices. So maybe you want guaranteed no-hassle home sale, but don't want to give up hard-earned equity to do it. They can handle that. You see, Chad and Sandy can take every problem you think you have and replace it with a promise. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. The success stories are rolling in. Mike and Lisa in McCormick. We inherited a family home that came with equity but also a mortgage. We needed to sell fast to avoid extra expenses on a second mortgage. We heard about Chad and Sandy on the radio and called. Everything they say on the radio is true. The home sold in 3 days for full asking price. Call Chad and Sandy today, 904-414-6200, or go to chadandsandy.com. That's Chad, ANDSANDY.com.
Bold City AC, heating that rules.
Is your AC ready for the holidays? Bold City Heating and Air ensures your AC stays in tip-top shape. We know that a clean AC is a healthy AC. Upgrade yours for just $96 a month and enjoy free duct cleanings with your new system. Plus, ask about our 0% financing options.
Bold City AC, we got the crew. Bold City AC.
Visit boldcityac.com.
Break in the savings this fall with Universal Roof and Contracting. Enjoy 15% off all roof repairs and replacements, plus a free wind mitigation inspection. With financing options as low as $115 a month, protecting your home has never been easier. Schedule your free roof inspection today. Call 855-ROOF-HELP. Offer expires November 30th. Protect your home and your wallet.
License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
There's something special about football under the Friday night lights.
Clear eyes, full hearts.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Friday Night Lights.
Presented by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning on 1010XL.
A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle any job. It gets done efficiently and quickly by a team of experts. So for tree trimming, removal, stump grinding, and emergency services, forget any name other than Custom Tree Surgeons. There is no job they can't do better. Go to website CustomTreeSurgeons.com. That's CustomTreeSurgeons.com, and let them show you how the job is supposed to get done.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality product and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
When pests invade your space, you don't just need them out, you need them out fast. And you need to keep them out. At Terminix, we show up for you and eliminate pests quicker. Because we care about what matters most to you. When pests show up, so do we. Don't live with a pest problem. Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. TERMINIX.com. Terminix it.
Monday, November 11th is Veterans Day, and we'll be honoring those who have served our nation all day and night at String Sports Brewery in Springfield with a free barbecue sandwich, side, and a beer. That's for all veterans and active duty military members anytime on Veterans Day. Plus, our show will be there live from 4 to 6, thanks to our friends at Firewatch, which was created to address veteran suicide prevention, and the Cohen Clinic at Centerstone that offers outpatient mental health for active duty, post 9/11 veterans and military families. So come to Strings on Veterans Day.
Former Jaguars corner and first-year head football coach at Duval Charter School at Bay Meadows, K-12, Aaron Beasley here. Are you looking for an A-rated K-12 school prioritizing academics, arts, and athletics? Duval Charter School at Bay Meadows offers a rigorous curriculum to develop strong minds with an additional focus on growing good hearts. DCSB has been an A school for 8 years, and our tuition is free. Now enrolling. Apply at baymeadowscharter.org.
Total Wine and More is having a Taste of Town November 8th and 9th from noon to 6 both days. Enjoy great liquor brands, craft beer, and more. Brackish Vodka is excited to announce 6 additional flavors, and all can be sampled and purchased at the Total Wine and More Taste of Town November 8th and 9th. Come to Total Wine at the Town Center and sample great local brands. Brackish Vodka is a proud partner of the Jaguars and proud to be supporting the Taste of Town.
This is Dr. Turner Vossler, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Jaguars rookie Brian Thomas Jr. was only targeted 4 times on Sunday at Philadelphia. Jaguars head coach Doug Peterson was asked why.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you specifically watch the football game and not follow the ball, you will see what Philly did in normal down situations. Some on third down is they had a corner and a safety, so they basically doubled BT. Okay, and it's hard to throw the ball over there to a guy that's doubled, right? So you have to go other places with the ball. So, that was part of their game plan.
I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Jeff Lageman Tuesday is serviced by Napa Auto Care on 1010XL.
Logs this one from Jag Knoll on social media. We asked this, I feel like, on an endless loop, but the Jags seem to have their best success when running a hurry-up. Why don't they do it the entire game? Or at least, why don't they try it earlier to maybe break out of this offensive funk that they seem to have early in contests?
Yeah, and I understand the question, and it's I think there is something to that a little bit. But a lot of times when you see this team in hurry-up, it's in playing catch-up mode. And so the defense also can be playing a little bit different coverage in that situation and also maybe a little bit softer, trying to defend the big plays. And but definitely they could do it, I think, early on. But, again, if you don't have success with the hurry-up, then you're putting your defense back out there in pretty quick fashion. So, I mean, there's positives and negatives to it.
They're doing it pretty quickly anyway.
Yeah.
I think is the counter argument to that.
Yeah.
3 and out, even if you take a little extra time on the plays, is still pretty quick. And there's been way too many of those.
31 plays and 1 first down in an entire half of football is that's epically poor.
Very much so.
I think we were looking at the numbers. I think the worst game in Jaguars history prior to that was the 1995 game against the Green Bay Packers. And I don't remember the yardage total, but it was pretty far down into that neighborhood.
Yeah, first-year expansion team.
Yeah.
And we're all well aware of that. All right, 641-1010 on the Garber Auto Mall phone lines. Kevin in Savannah is next up on Jaguars Today. Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning. I have a quick statement and a question for Jeff. I believe Sirianni went for it because he didn't see the Jacksonville offense or defense at that time as a threat at all, which is really embarrassing and sort of a flight to Press Taylor's offense. I mean, he wasn't worried. So I don't think it was a bad idea going for it, showing what our offense had been done. But my question, I wasn't able to listen yesterday, and y'all may have talked about it. When we 4th down in a half a yard, Trevor threw the little quick out to the tight end. Did anyone see holding or pass interference on that play? Because I haven't heard that discussed. I mean, he was wrapped up before the ball got there.
No, there was no pass interference on that play at all. What they're trying to accomplish on that play by design is you're trying to get essentially a wipe, or just like in basketball, you got somebody
like
who's playing a pick.
Yeah.
Okay, and Parker Washington is the outside receiver. Evan Ingram is the inside receiver, and you're basically drawing X. Okay, Parker comes inside, Evan goes outside, and Parker, you hope the guy that's covering Evan gets caught in the traffic of Parker and the guy that's covering Parker. And it wasn't a very good job of setting a pick. I mean, Parker kind of jumped out of the way of the defender that was able to get on top of Evan Ingram in a very quick fashion. I thought that wasn't very good.
All right, thank you for the call, Kevin. We appreciate that.
But there was no interference on that play.
Yeah, I didn't. What do you? Hang on one sec, Eric. You're next. I don't know. It's just you're 4th and less than a yard. I mean, I get it. If it works, right? But it didn't work. How did you feel about the decision to even throw it there as opposed to.
I'm okay with throwing it just because, I mean, look, those two guys in the middle for Philadelphia are really big, really strong and really good. And it's not just those two guys. I mean, they've got about four guys that can line up and play pretty stout football. So I get it. You know, the disappointing was the third down play before, which was a quarterback sneak, and he didn't get that one. That was disappointing. And I thought that Trevor could have did a better job of finishing that play to get that first down. And also, look, you've got a really strong left guard that is your strongest player. And Trevor chose to sneak to go to the right. And I don't know if that's by design or not, but that's the side where Jalen Carter and Brandon Sheriff are. I'd feel much better about the other matchup with Cooper Hodges against Jordan Davis on the other side. If it's me, you know, it worked on the goal line, by the way, when they ended up scoring on that play.
Right.
But, yeah, I mean, it's just I wish you'd made the third down, then there wouldn't have been a fourth down.
All right, Eric on the west side, thanks for being patient. You're next up on Jaguars Today. Go ahead.
Hey, no problem. Good morning, fellas. Basically, the key things to this disappointing loss on Sunday is situational awareness. We started off with the punt return. I think if you put Parker Washington, I don't think he would have fumbled the ball. Case in point, on 3rd and 15, you have Darby on Devontae Smith. Your best corner guy is Tyson Campbell, and I'm pretty sure he was covering A.J. Brown but good bit of time before he got injured. But in that case scenario, you have to go with Campbell on Devontae Smith. That gives you a better matchup. And then on the last play, you know, a minute and 42 seconds left, you know, you're a quarterback. You have the option to audible. You have the option to check or kill, alert, you know, check into a halfback draw. You got to keep that clock running and let that drive be the last drive of the game. Because, you know, if hypothetically speaking, Dearness Johnson does catch it, and it's probably a minute and 27 seconds left, and then you just have a feeling that the Jags is not going to get that one stop. So you have to, you know, this is simply is on coaches, on Doug, Fred, and the defensive coordinator on situation awareness, putting your guys in the best situation to come out and win.
All right, Eric, appreciate it. I will say this because I would have been fine with running the ball, at least on first down with 1:42 left, you know, there. But what if you get stuffed for no gain or loss of one? Right, you're going to have to throw at some point. You have to get a touchdown. You can't. It's not just a matter of burning as much clock as possible and then settling for the chip shot field goal. You got to get in the end zone. So, you know, there is some of that. What about Tyson Campbell though? Should he be following the best receiver in a big 3rd and long situation like that?
I mean, I'd like to have him on him. I mean, especially with A.J. Brown out of the ball game at that point. But, you know, I don't know if they're prepared to do that or I don't know what their thinking is on that. But
because sometimes you take your top cover guy and you put him on the number 2 threat and you double the number 1 threat.
There's kind of two ways you approach, you know, a great receiver. And you're facing one this week, by the way. Do you put your best guy on him? Or do you do the Bill Belichickian way, and then you take your best guy and put it on their second best guy, and then that way you can put 2 on their best guy. And so there's 2 ways to do that. And in this case, Darby was in single coverage against him. I think there should have been some safety help on that one deep ball, by the way, which wasn't there, which was disappointing. But yeah, I mean,
which one? You talking about in the 3rd and 22 or whatever we caught it one-handed in the back of the end zone?
No, the other one, the one that was like a deep over.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what exactly Cisco was doing on that one.
Cisco just stops. So weird.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I would have liked to have seen Tyson on Devontae Smith at the end of the ball game there, and in man coverage type of situations, absolutely.
If Wingard's healthy this week, are you starting him over Cisco?
No, you know, because I think, you know, there's a couple ways you can look at this. Number one, is he healthy? Which is a big question mark. Is he able to play the majority of the snaps of the game, which is another question mark. So I think it's more of a, you know, you're going to have to work him back into the lineup. So I don't know if you're necessarily starting him over somebody who is kind of have been getting game reps and is up to game speed and has the condition. I think it's more of a situation where you work him in and try to take advantage of his skill set and whatever that happens to be, make sure that he's on the field, that he can help the most. And I think, is that in a safety starting role? Is that in a safety contributor role? Is that in a dime starting role? I think you definitely need to get him on the field because he can help a defense.
All right, let's get Washington out in Ocean Way before we hit the break. Washington, you're on Jaguars Today. Go ahead, please.
Hey, good morning, Mike. Hey, Jeff, Tony. Hey, Jeff, really, first off, man, always enjoyed watching you play, even going back to Virginia, and really enjoy listening to your insight on Check the Tape Tuesday.
Thank you.
I had a question regarding Brian Thomas Jr., but I heard the commercial tape. Doug Peterson was asked why he wasn't talking, and he was bracketed. So, okay, I get that. Christian Kirk's not out there. Gabe Davis not out there. Okay, so I'll bracket him. But it seems to me, watching previous games, it's still taking us a minute to get him the ball, seems like. I watch other games. I watched Minnesota Vikings the other night. Sam Darnold, they are force-feeding Justin Jefferson. It's like, okay, I know teams know Justin Jefferson is their dude. They got to be bracketing him, but somehow they still give him the ball. Same thing with Jamar Chase. Same thing with other, number one receivers around the league. So I guess my question is, what are we not doing? Because, like I say, it seems to me in previous games we had our full complement of receivers, but yet we still take time. I don't know. It just seems like it's just a task to get Brian Thomas the ball. That dude is a baller.
Totally agree.
We need to, team up, give him the ball. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Washington.
Totally agree that, look, when you got a great player like that, you got to find ways to get him the ball. And I think that they understand that. And I think that, when you got a young player like that, I think a lot of that is earned. You kind of build to some of that. And I think that they could build a little faster than what they're going. Especially because, again, going back to what we said earlier, is that if you look at this offense when they have been struggling and this team has needed something to get them going, it's been his plays. His big plays that have made a difference in the energy of this football team. And I agree, getting him involved early and often, and I don't want to say forcing the ball to him, but yeah, to some extent, when you got a really, really strong, great player, you got to force feed him a little bit.
All right, we'll take a timeout here. Hour 2 is on the way. Tony will take us around the league on a trade deadline Tuesday, and there have been a few deals done this morning around the National Football League. We'll discuss if there's any potential for the Jags to make another move as well before 4 o'clock hits this afternoon. Jeff Lageman's in on a Check the Tape Tuesday. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today. You're at the home of the Jaguars in the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's fearless in the face of danger when entering enemy territory.
What is your mission?
Get insights and interviews from Jags beat reporter Hayes Carline when he takes you behind enemy lines. Brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors on 1010XL.
At Honda, we appreciate all the comparisons to other vehicles. And no matter how many times they compare their vehicles to a Honda, only a Honda is a Honda. Remember, value, quality, safety, there is no substitute. Visit your local Honda dealer now and experience the difference.
The Money Pages brings you this week's Red Zone featured player of the week. Number 5, Jaguars safety, Andre Cisco. Andre Jordan Cisco Jr. played college ball for Syracuse and was drafted by the Jags in the 3rd round in 2021. Make sure to pick up this week's Jag Game program with a commemorative ticket of Andre Cisco inside. Download the Money Pages app for weekly specials. Money Pages, official sponsor of your Jacksonville Jaguars.
The last thing you want to be dealing with this holiday season is a septic emergency. Plan ahead and schedule to have your septic tank pumped out now. Our wonderful team at Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing and Septic Services is standing by and ready for your call. We'll get your septic tank pumped out right away, giving you one less thing you have to worry about this holiday season. Check out our reviews online and give us a ring today. 904-862-6769. That's 904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
It's about the hunt.
Captain Kevin Favor here with Captain Kirk and Jeff Lageman.
We take you from the water to the woods.
On the Nimnicht Outdoors Show. Presented by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning.
Let's go to the woods, y'all.
Saturday mornings from 7 to 10 on 1010XL.
Picking here with a message from Zero Res. You gotta just love this time of the year as we reflect on the things that matter most.
families, homes, the holidays, and of course, football. They're very grateful for you, all the good people of Jacksonville, and they want to thank you. So get ready for the holidays. Book today, and Zero Res will clean your carpets for only $49 a room. Plus, they'll give you 25% off your tile cleaning. This one fills up fast, so book now on both carpet and tile. Zero Res, spell it forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
If you're like most Americans, you have a ton of credit card debt, and you're paying insane interest rates on that debt every month. Same for car loans and personal loans. Stop getting ripped off. Let Loan Pronto consolidate that debt for you at a significantly lower rate using the equity in your home. Hey, it's Prosser here, and Loan Pronto's Express Equity Line of Credit can get you up to $500,000. So you can consolidate your debt in as fast as 5 days. Their average client saves over $1,000 every month by doing this. Right now is the best time to act. With an Express Equity Line of Credit, you can access up to 90% of your home's equity, usually without an appraisal. Don't put it off. Get your financial house in order for the new year and call Loan Pronto now to see what you can save. It's a free quote, and there's no credit pull, unlike the other guys. Call now, 904-999-1508, or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
The experts at AMCO have been fixing cars for almost 60 years. Over that time, they've gotten more complex than ever. That's why our techs undergo rigorous training and certifications, so they can fix anything, including the most complicated repairs that come with some of the latest technologies. After 60 years, there's nothing we haven't seen or fixed. It's how we know cars inside and out.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at amcojacksonville.com.
What defines a hero? Dedication, loyalty, courage. Every day at AMCO, we serve heroes. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. From complex transmissions to simple brake jobs with flexible financing and the extra safety precautions we need. The heroes we serve don't all wear uniforms. They're people like you. At AMCO, we're proud to serve all of you. AA MCO.
Family owned and operated in Jacksonville, Orange Park, St. Augustine, and St. Mary's, Georgia.
Hi, Jags fans. Walker Little here for my friends at Kingfish Pest Control. Playing offensive line in the NFL, I must block and protect on every down. When it comes to keeping my home pest-free, I expect that same level of protection. So I contacted Kingfish after seeing thousands of positive online customer reviews about their service. I can confirm from personal experience, bugs don't stand a chance getting past Kingfish Pest Control. Do what I did. Reach out to Kingfish Pest Control to protect your home, a proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. Hurricanes happen in Florida. That's not news. But what happens even more often than hurricanes are home break-ins. And if security is important to you, you might want to look into hurricane-rated impact windows.
What you may not know is that hurricane-rated impact windows not only help protect your home in case of a hurricane, but they also offer another level of security for your home.
Have you seen those videos on YouTube that show people trying to break through an impact window? A thief is way too lazy to spend his energy trying to break through one of our impact windows. That's why he doesn't have a real job like you. He'd rather break your non-impact window while you're at work. Window World has high-quality, very affordable hurricane-rated impact windows to help protect your home from hurricanes and from lazy thieves.
Call us today at 904-443-7001. Get a free estimate and see for yourself. You save energy, get more security, and the windows add value to your home. With all Window World windows, you get the best guarantee in the window replacement business.
Window World, simply the best for less. And thank you for your business.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Need protection? Call Craig and Christine Kaprosky at Goosehead Insurance. The Kaproskys are a husband-wife team committed to finding you the right coverage at the right price in just a few short minutes. For home, auto, flood, or specialty insurance, Craig and Christine Kaprosky are the answer. Craig.Kaprosky at Goosehead.com.
New and pre-owned firearms are in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimber, Smith & Wesson, 6 Hour, Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Only at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Attention golfers, Hidden Hills Golf Club is an attractive destination for golfers all over the Southeast. You too will enjoy our classic Arnold Palmer design that will test your game and keep you coming back. Book a tee time at hiddenhillsgc.com.
Here's your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update, sponsored by St. Nicholas Guns and Range. Gator head coach Billy Napier took time during his Monday presser to remark on the fine play of Aaron Gates.
Gates made some really impressive plays on special teams Saturday as well. And he's got position versatility. I'm not so sure he couldn't play corner.
Georgia head coach Kirby Smart doesn't dwell on the turnovers from quarterback Carson Beck, just that he bounces back.
He's done a tremendous job overcoming any mistakes he's had. When he's had to, he's gone out with his back against the wall and overcome some bad throws.
ESPN and SEC Network's Paul Feinbaum, while in Jacksonville, says he got insight from the fans on who should be the next head coach of the Gators.
I'm talking to people in the parking lot at Everbanks. They want Lane Kiffin. That's who they are fixated on.
That's your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm Sam Nelson.
At 10:59, it's 82 degrees. Time at 10 brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler, Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Check the Tape Tuesday with Jeff Lageman is brought to you by Napa Auto Care on 1010XL.
All right, NFL trade deadline coming up at 4 p.m. Eastern time, just about 5 hours from now, and a couple of deals have gone down already. Tony, why don't we take a look and check in around the rest of the NFL?
Now, Gems Around the NFL, brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
Chicago is trading running back Khalil Herbert to the Cincinnati Bengals for a 7th-round pick. Cleveland is trading edge rusher Zadarius Smith and a 2026 6th-round pick to Detroit for a 5th-round pick next year and a 2026 6th-rounder. Dallas is sending getting wide receiver Jonathan Mingo and a 7th-round pick from the Carolina Panthers in exchange for a 4th-round pick. Denver is trading edge rusher Baron Browning to the Arizona Cardinals for a 6th-round pick. Tennessee safety Quandre Diggs suffered a season-ending Liz Frank injury that will require surgery. Dallas quarterback Dak Prescott will miss multiple weeks with a hamstring injury. Jerry Jones said that the likely outcome is that he'll be heading to IR. There in Dallas, an MRI for Philadelphia wide receiver A.J. Brown revealed no structural damage. Nick Sirianni said that he has the chance to play this week after they see how he progresses in the next couple days out of practice. San Francisco running back Christian McCaffrey returned to practice for the 49ers on Monday, and it sounds like the expectation right now is that he will be able to play against Tampa Bay this week, making his 2024 debut. The Cincinnati Bengals are seeking more information on the neck injury that kept Zach Moss out this week, and it looks like he could be out for a while there, including them trading for a running back today. Atlanta wide receiver Drake London is day-to-day with the hip injury that he suffered on Sunday. Buffalo defensive end DeJuan Smoot will be getting wrist surgery, then placed on IR there for the Bills. And the Bengals and Chargers Week 11 game has been flexed to Sunday Night Football. The Colts-Jets game that had been scheduled for that week on Sunday night has been rescheduled for 1 p.m.
Ooh, they took Aaron out of prime time. How about that? All right. By the way, Jets 1-3 since the coaching change. Logs, we saw a report from Adam Schefter over the weekend that the Jags were nearing completion of a deal to send Christian Kirk to Pittsburgh prior to him getting injured a week ago. So if you take that as accurate, right, it means Christian Kirk would have been out of here. Mm-hmm. Obviously, he's gone now for the season with the injury. We wish him the best in his recovery. But what about Travis Etienne or any other Jaguar? Do you think it's plausible that somebody gets moved today?
Well, I think there's always possibilities, especially when you got a team, looking at the record that the Jaguars have. And is it likely? I'm not sure. I think it's going to be one of those kind of wait and see things. But yeah, when you're 2-7, you're a seller.
You would think you're a seller at least. Would you how motivated would you be of a seller? Like, what would it take to, if somebody came knocking on the door, hey, is Travis Etienne available? Because he is under contract with the 5th-year option for next year. So you know what that is going to cost you. You have that 1-2-3 punch, if you want to include Dearness Johnson in that backfield with Tank Bigsby. What would it take for you to move Etienne if somebody came calling?
Well, I think there's always a price that will work. I'm not saying that I wouldn't do it. I'd be less likely to do it. I'm not sure what the depth is on the practice squad. Keelan Robinson is a running back. You got to have guys that can step in. Jake Funk on the practice squad was on the active roster for a minute. So I don't see any of those guys having the ability of an ETN, so I would not be a fan of trading him, no.
All right, let's continue along here at 641-1010 on the Garber Auto Mall phone line. Stephen Melbourne, you're up next. Go ahead.
Hey, good morning, guys. Logs, I just got a question for you since you analyze the games and look at all 22 and everything. I know everybody has concerns. I know it's a constant thing, but my issue with play calling has always been situational. Short yardage has been a problem. Just like we had in Sunday's game, situational on that. Run a little clock. I agree with you. I thought we were going to be in more 12 personnel sets. But what really concerned me was the press conference last week, to where Press admitted in that game he tried to set up an 11 personnel. Somebody had to tell him that we don't have enough bodies to fill that. We need to go to 12. That was just overall concerning, that an OC, which I believe is part of your job to know your personnel, and you're not keeping up with it.
Well, let me just kind of jump in there, because look, as an offensive coordinator, you're worrying about calling the game. Okay, so you're not always getting the information as it happens from an injury standpoint. So you have to be told, who's available and who's not, because you're not the one who makes that call. You're not sitting there, okay, in between series or after each play going, okay, looking behind me going, who's available and who's not. So having to be told who is available and who is not available is not anything out of the ordinary for an offensive coordinator with his full attention on calling plays.
All right, there you go. I think, my feeling is there's a lot of animus towards Press Taylor, Trent Baalke, Doug Peterson's growing.
2-7 will do that.
So anytime you get a circumstance like that, I think people want to play that up to be like, oh, Press Taylor's absolutely clueless over there. I can see what you're talking about. Like, it's a bad look to say, I didn't know what was going on, but you can understand why with everything happening that, okay, so he's out. Is he available to come back? I'm not 100% sure. We're out of receivers. We're going to go with the tight ends. I mean, they got him in there, and they did fine moving the ball down the field. It didn't seem like it hampered them.
Yeah, the one thing I think as a coordinator, you want to always be kind of kept abreast, and it's not like you're the one that needs to be discovering the information all the time.
Right.
But you want to know who you have available, and then also if there is an injury to an important player on the other team, you want to know that too, just from an X's and O's standpoint. Hey, look, if their number one corner is out, okay, that gives us an opportunity to maybe attack the backup. So, I mean, as a play caller, you want to make sure that you are made aware of all of those situations, but it's not like you're the one that has to be or should be responsible for garnering all that information yourself.
All right. Thanks for the call, Steve. This one from Marvin on social media this morning. Is there anything the Jags can do regarding safety play moving forward to improve the safety play? Obviously, we talked about Wingard is coming back, but Logs, Andre Sisco at times has been a major liability for this football team. Antonio Johnson had already been benched. So is there any other combination you'd like to see tried or way of lining them up or doing something different to get better play?
Well, I think they just need to be better. I mean, Savage is a guy that's helped a little bit. Antonio Johnson went from being a starter to, I think this past game, he only had like 5 snaps on defense as a whole. So you're trying some things that are different. And then with the return of Wingard, I think it gives you a little bit more flexibility to continue to do some different things. And look, I think Sisco can play well. Can he play better? Yes. But I don't think that Savage is necessarily the long-term answer at safety. I think he's better as more of a nickel. That's kind of where he kind of made hay at with Green Bay, and that's where I think he helps this team the most.
You've got a third-round pick invested in Andre Sisco, and I know we still have half a season to go, but as it stands right now in your head, as you're kind of planning the future roster of the Jaguars, is he a guy you want to bring back?
Well, not for a big contract, no. Just because, I mean, you've got some big contracts already out there on your defense. Josh, and then obviously with Tyson Campbell most recently, you've got Armstead with a pretty sizable contract. And so I don't know if the level of play would warrant a big contract. So you'd probably be more of the I think liking to let him test the market and see where that takes it and then make a decision from there.
All right, two related questions here for you. From Trevor, do you think scripting the plays at the beginning of the game is hurting Trevor Lawrence? As we talked about, sometimes they get in that kind of hurry up and go, and he's just a little bit more effective. Another one, is this team not ready to play each week? First halves are awful. Is the coaching staff not getting them ready? The players need to have a higher intensity level. So I think it's all related here. What about the slow starts?
Yeah, it's hard to put your finger on because, a lot of times scripted plays help with a fast start because you're giving the players confidence. Hey, this is the play calling sheet. This is what we're going to do. So in your mind, you know what you're going to do. There's very little thinking involved with it. It's more about execution. So I don't think that hampers a team's ability to be good. Most teams that have been known for starting fast use some type of scripted play sheet for the first 10 plays. Some of them may have 15 to 20 plays that are scripted, but sometimes the circumstances change that to where they just get off the script entirely at some point. So, no, I don't think that is. But I think there's ways to get better in the early part of the game. I think from a coaching standpoint, you demand more in practice as far as starting faster in practice. You restart drills that maybe don't start fast, just to provide that emphasis and the attention that's needed on that.
It seems like there's a little phenomena of this happening around the NFL, right? Just this week, the Jets were just as bad as the Jags were. Like Aaron Rodgers threw for 32 yards in the first half of that game on Thursday Night Football. Yeah. Then he lit it up in the second half. Sam Darnold did absolutely nothing. Gave a fumble, his fumble. Now he got hit in the head on the play. Shouldn't have counted, but his fumble led to the only points for Indy in the first half. Lit it up in the second half. Daniel Jones became the first quarterback, I think, since like the merger to have 0 passing yards in the first half and a touchdown pass. That's tough to do. And then he ended up moving the ball a lot better in the second half of that game as well.
Yeah, made it a game.
Right. It made it a game, right? And so here, the Jags, we understand. Is this just coincidental? Is this something happening with defensive coordinators are getting a better read and teams are making halftime adjustments?
Great question. I don't know if there is a reason for it that it would fit all the situations.
But those
or not.
four, were really It was
big time.
0
big time.
to 100 miles an hour in the second half. I don't understand.
Hard to explain. But here's the reality. Right now this football team they're not playing well in the first half offensively, and it's hampering their chances at the end of the ball game.
You think?
in a big way. And I almost wish that some way, shape, or form that you just find a way to hit something big early in the game. An explosive. Just find a way to find call it. Put it on
Or
your
I don't
sheet.
know, maybe hang on to the punt and give yourself a chance to hit something big early in the game.
That might help.
You get a nice stop. Philadelphia's got to be in their own head. Jeff, they hadn't scored in the first quarter the whole year. Right? And then they're like, oh, okay. It's like the pressure valve gets released. If they're punting it to you and Trevor can get the ball there at the 20 and go on a drive and put some points on the board, they're probably thinking to themselves, why can't we get out of the gates? But you gifted them that field position and we saw the result. All right, plenty more coming in for Jeff Lageman on a Check the Tape Tuesday, and there's room for you if you want to be a part of it at 641-1010 on the Garber Auto Mall phone lines. That's the easiest way to do it. We'll check in on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, and as I said, plenty on the X and Twitter platform as well. On Jaguars Today on a Check the Tape Tuesday on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Awaken 180 weight loss. You're always going to be a winner when you lose with Awaken 180, right? Maybe you've been like me and you get in that rut where, I can drop 20, 30 pounds, but I can find those pounds very quickly, and it's a yo-yo back and forth, and your weight's constantly fluctuating. You've maybe given up on the idea that you can ever have some kind of permanent weight loss. Well, Awaken 180 tells you not to give up. Not only are they going to help you lose weight safely, effectively, quickly, but once you hit your goal weight, for me it was about 25 pounds, they're going to give you free coaching and support for life to help you maintain that weight loss. That is oftentimes the toughest thing. You can drop the pounds, can you keep them off? Well, over 21,000 customers have been satisfied with Awaken 180 over the years, and they can't all be wrong. Trust me. It's worked for me. It's worked for Hacker. It's worked for Matt Hayes. It'll work for you. Give them a call at 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800 for Awaken 180, or schedule your free consultation online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Jaguars Today. From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. A sturdy defense keeps your end zone safe like a superior fence keeps your family and pets safe. It's fantastic. After the game, catch the superior fence and rail defensive player of the game. What a baller. On 1010XL.
Epic offers. Factory direct pricing on AC equipment from Epic Cool Heating and Air. Call 904-859-EPIC. Epic discounts for military, police, first responders, and 1010 listeners like you. Epic Cool Heating and Air.
This is Tony Baselli, Pro Football Hall of Famer. I was known for protecting our quarterback. These days, I'm extending that protection to a different arena, your home. I have partnered with Heritage Roofing of North Florida, your premier local roofers with over 25 years of experience. Heritage is your go-to roofer for hurricane preparation, with same-day inspections and estimates. They also work with all insurance companies. Let Heritage Roofing of North Florida safeguard your home and family. Visit heritagenfl.com for your free estimate today.
State license CCC 1335410.
In its final year, we encourage you to help create great futures for young people when you run or walk at Mackenzie's Run, Saturday, November 23rd. Join Boys and Girls Club of Northeast Florida for a 5K and 1 mile fun run through the beautiful stadium course at TPC Sawgrass. Enjoy food, live music, face painting, family fun, and more at our Runners Village. Register at MacKenziesRun.org. Mackenzie's 5K and Fun Run, November 23rd. MacKenziesRun.org.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and if I know anything about the dudes that listen to 1010, they've got their own list of toys that they'd like to have for Christmas. You've got some of them in your showroom.
We've got all of them. We've got the toys for them. We got the toys for the kids. We got go-karts, dirt bikes, side-by-sides, ATVs, you name it. We've got it, and we are ready for Christmas.
So you can shop for yourself and for your loved ones. It's all happening at Cycles of Jacksonville, online or on Atlantic near Regency.
If you're looking for custom metalwork, look no further than Superior Fence and Rail. Whether it's custom railing, shade structures, or custom entry gates, their expert team controls the turnkey process. From CAD design and raw metal to powder-coated finish and expert installation. When you choose Superior Fence and Rail for your custom metal project, you get a project that's, well, superior. So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail today.
1010XL celebrates high scorers.
1010XL and Southeast Orthopedic Specialists celebrate scholar athletes.
In class and on the court.
Brought to you by the Plumbers and Pipefitters Local Union 234. Wednesdays on The Frangie Show.
Hey, gang, Prosser here to save you some cash. Maximize your home sale now with the market experts who deliver more money in less time, and those experts are Chad and Sandy Newman. Maybe you're worried about costly repairs or upgrades needed to sell your home. You don't have to worry. The worries are relieved with Chad and Sandy, the local real estate experts we are trusting and recommending with the sale of your home. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Mortgage rates are down. It's time to create your market. Marvin in Cobblestone writes, my siblings and I moved our parents to Maryland so they can get some extra help as they get older. Next, we had to sell the home to get them some financial help for their extra care. We hired Chad and Sandy, and they delivered big. Chad and Sandy's team got our home sold in 7 days, above asking price. You can too. Call Chad and Sandy today, 904-414-6200, or go to chadandsandy.com. That's Chad, ANDSANDY.com.
Budweiser reminds us to drink wiser, like hydrating between beers. It keeps the fun going longer, and it's a commitment to responsibility. Remember, good times are ahead, so no need to overdo it. Know when to say when, and always designate a driver.
You've worked hard to have nice things, protect and enjoy them with a luxury storage unit at The Shed, opening soon in Atlantic Beach. You got to see these places to believe them. What a smart investment out at AB. I can take 10 minutes, but I can't tell you everything. Go to theshedjacks.com or take a tour on Instagram.
The Golf Club of Southampton has plenty going on, from a great round to a round with your buds, soaking up some football and great grub. Every Saturday and Sunday at Southampton, enjoy their game day special. Wings tossed in your favorite sauce and a cold pitcher of beer. Membership opportunities to take advantage of, too. Join Southampton with a paid initiation, and you'll get a $500 gift card. Perfect for golf, pro shop purchases, or the clubhouse. Check it out. It's all happening at the Golf Club of Southampton.
If your IT, data security, and your office copiers are operating perfectly, you must have hired ABS, Advanced Business Solutions, as your technology partner.
Advanced Business Solutions.
It's a force that can't be contained, propelled by purpose, pride, and the power to protect.
When winning isn't just the mission, it's your passion. You pursue it.
You make power plays.
Aim for fences. And go for end zones. You believe that your moment is now. At Farrah & Farrah, we deliver game day energy 24/7.
If you've been injured, put our force to work for you. Jacksonville.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Jeff Lageman Tuesday
is brought to you by
Napa Auto Care on 1010XL.
All right, Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Jeff Lageman, Dylan Denmark here with you. Check the tape Tuesday rolls on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Logs. It seemed like Ronald Darby had a rough day at the office.
Yeah, he had a tough day.
What did you see on film?
He had a tough day. And I was a little surprised, because they had been rotating Monteric Brown in. And this game, he didn't rotate in as much. I don't want to know what the snap count was, but typically in the past weeks, and maybe you could tell me.
I'll find out.
In past weeks, Monteric had gotten probably 30-some-odd snaps in the game, and then that was like maybe Darby getting in the 50 range, and then Tyson was somewhere in that 50 range, to where all three of those guys were rotating. So not a great game by him, tough challenge, and I thought that over the last couple of weeks that they would maybe transition to giving maybe Monteric Brown a little bit more of an opportunity, but it hasn't happened.
Tyson played all 100% of the snaps, 79 snaps at corner. Darby played 61 snaps, which was 77%. So there were 79 defensive snaps. First of all, way too many. Okay. But so there's 79 snaps. The other 18 went to Monteric Brown. So they split that one position 77% to Darby, 23% to Monteric Brown. And by those numbers, you would think they were never on the field at the same time. At least it worked out to an exact percentage. Jarian Jones played 53 snaps, which was 2/3.
And he was the nickel.
Yes. No other corner had a snap in the game.
Yeah, and kind of surprised that Monteric didn't get a little bit more than that. I think he's been playing pretty good, but, I'm not sure why they divvied it up that way.
By the way, the safeties, I love the snap count stuff. It's, we didn't used to have, 10 years ago, you couldn't just find snap counts.
It's in the game book every week.
Right. It's in the game book. If you want to go there, it's all over the place. You can find all kinds of sites that do it. Cisco played 100% of the safety snaps. Savage played 99%. Antonio Johnson got 5 off the bench. Here, let me ask you about this, because we talked about him in reference to the trade deadline, but Travis Etienne starts the game, has a few carries, what have you. Trevor throws that ball, and Etienne bats it in the air, and it gets intercepted. From that point forward, he had 1 touch. Was that a reaction to that play, in your opinion?
It could have been. I don't know for sure. I mean, that's kind of getting into the mind of the coaches, but the snaps definitely went down from that point.
I mean, he got 1 touch in the entire second half of the game. Travis Etienne played only 17 snaps in the ball game, which was 31%, 52% for Bigsby. Dearness Johnson played
quite a bit,
13, just 4 snaps less than Travis Etienne.
Yeah,
is he?
I think it's first of all, I think that there was a plan kind of in place to kind of work him back.
Ease him back. Well, I was going to say, follow up with that.
And when you got a hamstring, that's one of those things that you're always worried about, especially with skill position players, because if all of a sudden they get fatigued, that's when a lot of re-injuries can happen. So the last thing in the world that they want to do is to have a player in his first game back all of a sudden have, a pretty severe, substantial workload, and then all of a sudden re-injuring the muscle that's pulled, which is a hamstring again.
Sure.
Got to be very cautious with that. So I think that probably had a lot to do with it.
All right, let's go to Darren on a Check the Tape Tuesday at 641-1010 on the Garber Automall phone lines. Good morning, Darren.
Good morning, gentlemen. I'm going to take my question from a different perspective. I've pretty much given up on the season, and that's okay. I know it's not quite over yet, but we get to enjoy football for the next whatever time, 8 games we got left. I'm thinking that interception there at the end, Jeff, I would like your take on it. I believe from a positive standpoint that I'm looking to that make Trevor grow. I think he's going to learn from that. I think Trevor is a good quarterback. I don't think he's an elite quarterback yet, but I still believe that he will be an elite quarterback in the next 2 to 3 years, and I believe that he'll bring us to the Super Bowl here eventually one day. And so I hope, for what it's worth, from a personal standpoint of Trevor's growth and learning, I want him to learn from that, and I think he can learn just as much from making throwing the interception as he can from maybe even more than winning the game. So I'll hang up and listen, guys. I love the show.
All right, thank you, Darren.
Well, you'd always like to learn in victory, but you go back to some of the, I think, critical learning moments in Trevor's young career so far. You go back to that interception that he threw in the tight red zone, I think in London a couple years ago, and I think that was a very important moment for him and kind of a hard lesson that, he had that lesson earlier in the year but didn't learn from it. And
the
then
Houston one
again,
and the Denver one, yeah.
And then I think it was a hard lesson for him. And I think that every time you make a mistake or that you make something positive, it's a learning opportunity, especially for quarterbacks, because it's just it's an intricate game. There's a lot to learn. And I think if you ever stop learning in football as a quarterback, then I think then you're done as a player. So it definitely is a learning moment, Darren, and you hope he does learn from that, because, that's a winnable game with a lot of opportunities to win that ball game, and there was really no reason to make a throw like that given the circumstances. And if you can't realize that and you can't accept that, then you're not going to learn.
All right, let's continue along here, Logs, from Bush Drive Rich. And now I'm obsessed with the snap count. Miles Cole, he played 11 snaps. Did you notice anything particular from Miles Cole on film?
Played okay. Played okay. He's long and he runs well, pretty athletic, but he's raw and he's got a long way to go.
Also, we're at this point, like, we've had this conversation about Eric Armstead all season long, right? And last week you heard Ryan Nielsen's comments about why he's playing end and not tackle, and he said that's what the player wants. And it's kind of mind-boggling to me why you give out $43 million to a guy who then basically you're telling us is a backup rotational defensive end. It seems like a bad use of resources. Jeremiah Ledbetter played a couple more snaps than Eric Armstead. What are you seeing from Armstead? Is he doing anything good out there?
I mean, he has moments. He had like 3 tackles in the game. He had one play where he set the edge, and it was kind of a shirt-tail tackle, if you remember that one, which was a good play. He also had another tackle. He fell back to the inside. It was a good play. But I still believe this. He's not an edge player, and I was actually having a conversation before the game with Brian Baldinger, who's, good guy and watches a ton of film and very good radio broadcaster, very knowledgeable. And we were just talking about the game. He's kind of filling me in on the Philly team because he sees them more than I, and he was asking me about Jaguars. One of the questions that he asked, he says, why is Eric Armstead playing edge? He goes, he's not an edge. And I said, I really don't know the answer to that, other than that's kind of where he wants to play, and that's where they have him at. And he said, yeah, kind of surprising there. And I agreed to that because I think this team really needs an inside presence, and I think he can provide that. And even in sub situations, you're not seeing him get a ton of snaps inside as much.
Right.
Which is kind of surprising. I think you always have to have what's best for the team. And I think right now what's best for the team would be to have him as an inside player. But I don't know.
All right, I'll take our final time out. If you're on the line, stay there, and we'll get to your question coming out of this break here for Jeff Lageman. It's a Check the Tape Tuesday, 641-1010. If you want to get in on the Garber Automall phone lines, got a few more we want to run by you from social media this morning, Jeff, as well as we continue along on Jaguars Today. Keep it right here on 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios.
When it comes to towing products, your safety on the road is the priority at Cannons of Jacksonville. Whether it's a heavy-duty tow hitch, trailer frame, wiring, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons has decades of experience to ensure your towing setup is installed with precision and reliability. Visit cannonsofjacks.com to explore a range of products and schedule your installation. Cannons of Jacksonville, your trusted partner for a smoother tow.
Greenlaw Group is for the insured. If you think you have roof damage, call 904-302-7055 today, and they will schedule you a free roof inspection. Trust their law firm to help you fight your insurance when you need it. These storms can cause damage you may not even see yet. Call Greenlaw Group, 302-7055. There's no cost to retain their law firm and no cost to have your roof inspected. They only get paid if you win. Greenlaw Group, for the insured.
Attention men and women. If you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry and receive a free hair and scalp examination and get 2 weeks of laser treatments for free. Call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Hairforme.com.
Does the building you go to work in every day need a little love and attention? Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Great companies take great care of the buildings their staff and customers walk into every day. If the building you're in doesn't match the vision you have for your company, we can help. Go to performance-painting.com. Our highly trained team makes the difference. Quality coatings applied with pride.
Performance Painting. What if you could be debt-free by this January? Get rid of all that high-interest debt, pay off all your credit cards, consolidate everything into one lower payment. Hey, it's Prosper here, and if you're ready to stop stressing over bills, you need to call Loan Pronto right now. With rates at their lowest in 2 years, this is the perfect chance to use your home's equity and save big going into the new year. Loan Pronto's got rates with APRs in the low 5s, and they're getting homeowners hundreds of thousands out of their home's equity. Homeowners who do this save on average $850 a month. Loan Pronto offers a ton of options, including total refis, express equity lines of credit. So call now, get a rate quote in just minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call today. You won't make a house payment till 2025. 904-999-1508. That's loanpronto.com or 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Don't be sidelined from an injury that keeps you out of the game. Get the care the pros receive. Now available at Injury Care Centers, newly FDA regenerative treatments that will significantly shorten your recovery time. Sprains, strains, fractures, post-op surgeries, cut your recovery time in half or shorter. Masking pain just makes it worse. Fix it now. Call 904-783-0008. That's 904-783-0008. Injury care starts at Injury Care Centers.
I open the door and take you inside the locker room to get you closer to the field, the players and coaches you care about.
Get a look at Hayes' blog on 1010XL.com.
My blog is brought to you by Roland Reich Plumbing,
where quality and experience count.
Movember is Men's Health Awareness Month, so take charge of your health and vitality at Ackerman Urology in Mandarin, Middleburg, the Beaches, and Whirl Golf Village. For prostate and urological needs, trust Ackerman Urology. AckermanUrology.com.
Transmission troubles? I'm Robin Sidbury, owner of Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road. So come in and see how we can help solve your transmission troubles. We service all makes and models. Remember, get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
Are you an experienced plumber or welder with MedGas certification and you're tired of being undervalued? It's time to make the move to Local 234 plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians. With the best pay in the business, you'll earn $36.50 an hour. With benefits, that's almost $50. It's not just a job, it's a career that values you. Join the team that's got your back. Local 234, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit UA234.com to send your resume today.
Equal opportunity employer.
Hey, Jacksonville Koozies, it's me, Soccer Sam, for Salvatore's Pizza. Rochester, New York's favorite pizza is now open in Jacksonville, Florida, Tapestry Park at the Loft Hotel Plaza. Daily $10 deals, dine in with beer and wine, and delivery at salvatores.com. The famous Formoso family brings Salvatore's Pizza, Rochester's favorite pizza, including our 32-piece sheet pizza for your next event. Go with me, baby. Salvatores.com.
Jags fans, looking for the perfect activity around the holidays? We've got you covered with the inaugural Teal Trot 5K. The race takes place outside Everbank Stadium, Saturday, December 21st. We can't wait to see you there. Your registration includes the 5K, a throwback Jaguars headband, and a ticket to the December 29th game against the Titans. Visit jaguars.com/Teal Trot to sign up today.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Jaguars head coach Doug Peterson took responsibility for tight end Brenton Strange not being targeted on Sunday against the Eagles.
In Brenton's case, I think it's probably more on us to not get him more involved. But when you look at this game, some of the struggles of just staying efficient on first down, some of the second down stuff just kind of takes you a little bit out of rhythm and the flow of the game just a little bit. We had opportunities. We had, I think, 4 or 5 third and fours, in this game, and we don't capitalize. I mean, those are things that have haunted us.
I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since '87.
All right, got a couple on the lines here on a Check the Tape Tuesday, so we'll get your questions in for Jeff Lageman. And then for today's 1010 Take, we'll talk about third down conversion success rate or lack thereof. Let's go to Cody in Gainesville, 641-1010 on the Garber Auto Mall phone lines. Cody, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Hey, so I was really against Devin Lloyd back when we drafted him. I thought we should have took Nakobe Dean. Now here we are a couple of years into it, and this traded back up first-round draft pick, another guy not contributing. Do we think there's any value around the league to him, or is that just kind of a guy we're stuck with on the roster, a first-round draft pick that doesn't contribute? And that's all I got.
Well, I think Devin has been good at times. I mean, he's got some crazy athleticism, but to be honest, I think Ventrell Miller has been playing better this year. More sudden, more attacking. But I think there's a role for Devin Lloyd. But I'm kind of surprised. I thought a couple weeks ago we were going to see more of Ventrell when Foye was coming back, and so then all of a sudden now you've got playing time that's got to be divvied up. And it didn't kind of work out that way. And then if you looked at this past game, I thought when Ventrell was in the ball game, I felt like his impact was felt in a big way. And this week, by the way, he's going to present a challenging game just because the Vikings like their tight ends, and it will challenge the Jaguars linebackers in coverage.
Ventrell played 16 fewer snaps and had the same amount of tackles as Devin Lloyd this week. So,
and he's just so physical. Like the shot that he put on A.J. Brown, that A.J. Brown was like slow to get up from, and other physical tackles that he had to where.
Oh, he thumped A.J. Brown
he
now.
Thumps people, man. I mean, just love watching him play that game in a physical nature. And he's got some guys just have the ability to really be felt when they hit, and it's the guys that typically that literally hit through the actual point of contact, and he's just got that special ability.
All right, let's go to Tom in Orange Park next on a Check the Tape Tuesday. Good morning, Tom. Tom, you there? All right, maybe not. All right, Dylan, why don't we fire it up?
10-10 Take.
Now, Mike Dempsey's 10-10 Take. Brought to you by
Double checked. Cybersecurity made simple.
All right, Logs, told you I was going to set you up with one here for the 10-10 Take today. This one's from our buddy Dom. He points out that Doug Peterson's teams in the last 3 years, 2 years ago, 10th in third down conversion rate, fell off to 17th best last year. Now 30th in the league out of 32 teams in third down conversion rate. What is the reason behind the trend? What contributes to this, in your opinion?
Well, I think it's quarterback play. Last year Trevor was hurt a bunch and missed a lot of time towards the latter part of last year. And when he was back, I don't know if he was 100%. I think that was a big factor. And then this year, I think the play on third down hasn't been very good. When I say it hasn't been very good, it hasn't been very good by the quarterback. It hasn't been very good by an offensive line and protection early in the season, but the last 4 or 5 games have been good, and I think Trevor needs to be better. When you talk to quarterbacks that have played in the league, and the majority of them will tell you that, hey, look, I get paid to win on third down, and I get paid to score touchdowns. And so that's a quarterback's role. And with the protection being as good as it's been, I think a lot of that falls on Trevor in the last, 4 or 5 games on third down.
All right, well, are you concerned at all about depth on the offensive line? Now, you can't know when you trade Cam that you're going to have, Cooper Hodges go out. And I'm not saying that would have mattered. He's still a backup tackle. But you had Anton go down for a brief period of time. Fortunately, he was able to return. So what is the 5 that you're rolling out there? Is it Hance playing left guard? Is that...
If Ezra can't go, yes.
Yeah. Obviously, if Ezra can't go.
Right.
How do you feel about the way
I like Blake Hance, by the way. I thought that at the beginning of training camp, he was arguably having one of the best camps of any interior offensive lineman that they had. And then he sustained some type of elbow injury, and then it just kind of, look, he was hurt, and he tried to gut it out, and it affected his play. But early in camp, he was dominant. And so I think he's a really good player. I don't think he's a player that deserves to be on practice squad. I think he deserves to be on an active roster on somebody's team in the National Football League. And I think the Jaguars are fortunate that they were able to put him on practice squad and not have somebody steal him.
I think it might have been Baselli I heard talking about Brandon Sheriff, like gutting it out,
Great game.
Really
wasn't
impressive.
Perfect,
No, but he's playing hurt as well.
Well, he's playing hurt, but then he's going against arguably the second best defensive tackle in football, which, the first being Chris Jones, and I think that Jalen Carter's right there in the conversation at being the second best, especially power-wise. I don't know if there's a more violent, strong defensive tackle than Jalen Carter, and Brandon Sheriff held his own. Was it perfect? No, but I thought he did a really good job in this ball game. Played the game, really elevated his level of strength and power in this ball game, and kudos to him for doing it, because if you watch the film, you would not think that he had been dealing with an injury whatsoever.
Hopefully Ezra is able to go this week, and Hance would be able to back up either of the guard spots, at least for a week. But if Hance had to start, if one of the guards at that point were to get hurt, who's going where?
Well, I think the next guy up on the roster is Luke Fortner. From that standpoint.
Could Cole Van Lannon play inside if they needed him to?
I think, he's been playing. He was almost exclusively a tackle in training camp. And so I don't see him being the next guy up on the interior. That's really not his skill set. I think it would be Luke Fortner, and I don't know this for a fact. Javon Foster, who is your rookie from Missouri, is just not ready. He needs time to develop. This is almost like a redshirt year, I think, in some cases for him.
Let me ask, I keep getting people on the pass to Evan Ingram on fourth down bring up why this wasn't a penalty, right? And they're showing a picture of a shot with the ball in the air. It's behind the line of scrimmage. First of all, holding's only going to be called when the ball's not in the air, right? So it's not a hold, okay? And didn't the refs, I'm not hearing the TV copy. I'm listening to you guys, but I'm pretty sure, did the refs not say it's not pass interference if the ball's thrown behind the line of scrimmage. Is that accurate or not?
I don't remember them saying that.
Okay. Can you have pass interference behind the line of scrimmage?
I don't think you can if it's behind the line of scrimmage.
And the pass was clearly behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it was definitely sideways, but not backwards.
Not backwards, but
Right.
not past the line
Was
of gain.
not past the line of scrimmage.
Right. So were there maybe it's close to lateral because they're trying to anyway. So
Great question. I mean, I don't know the answer to that. Can there be pass interference if a pass is not to the line of scrimmage?
See what Google tells us.
I can tell you this from watching the film. I did not think that was pass interference, in my opinion. I didn't think it was. We can always look at it.
Here we go. I put, can pass interference be called? And it filled in behind the line of scrimmage. No, pass interference cannot be called behind the line of scrimmage.
There you go.
So there you go. So, everyone, you can keep sending me all the pictures you want. Send us to Jeff. Show this to Jeff. I'll accept your apology. Well, you're wrong, okay? You can't call pass interference behind the line of scrimmage, and you can't call holding when the ball's in the air. Holding is a pre-ball in the air penalty. Otherwise, it's a PI call. So
when was that? That first half?
That was, I think
the turnover on downs. When was that?
I want to say late in the first half, if I'm not mistaken. On that, anyway. I get it, how it looks, but you're seeing a still shot here, and I'm not seeing when the contact first occurred. Obviously, you didn't think it was interference logs.
Yeah,
the refs didn't either.
We're watching it right now. So I'm going to let Tony be the judge. What do you think, Tony?
If it's past the line, it's half a step. I don't think anyone's going to call that.
Watching it right now, the line of scrimmage is the 40. The contact on Evan Ingram is made at about the 39 and a half. So it's not at the line of scrimmage yet.
Yeah, no.
Right, and the ball's behind.
And he didn't hold him before the play either. The contact was all right there, where it would be PI if he was a yard further downfield.
And then
potentially
looking at it at the sideline view, which we also have the ability to do that, when we're watching it, we're going to slow it down, and then you can actually kind of see maybe when the contact was made. And I think a lot of times where the ball is a little misleading sometimes, where the ball is when the contact is made. I think that's just a good defensive play.
I'm reading, and I don't know if this source is 100% accurate or not, right? But the Google search, pass interference only called once the quarterback is throwing the ball, obviously. The contact with the receiver must occur beyond the line of scrimmage to be considered pass interference, but you could have potentially an illegal contact call or something like that.
No,
but if you're looking at specifically PI or holding, doesn't seem to fit either category.
Thought it was a good play by Cooper DeJean.
Mostly what I saw there too.
Just hated the damn
By the
play.
way, he had an exceptional play the week before against Cincinnati and Jamar Chase on another fourth down that he made. I mean, he's a very talented rookie.
All right, Logs, we got Minnesota coming in, fresh off a bit of a comeback victory against Indianapolis on Sunday Night Football. Obviously, Justin Jefferson presents everyone problems.
The return of Cam Robinson.
It is, right? So who has the edge in that matchup?
I think Minnesota's got the edge. I mean, they're a good football
team.
I
mean, the Cam Robinson, Josh Hines-Allen matchup specifically.
I think that's one of those things, get your popcorn out, because, I mean, it's going to be highly competitive. I mean, you'll have both guys that'll be amped up, because they know each other very well, and some of the best competitions are amongst friends. And now it won't be very friendly that day, I'm sure, but that would be something that if you're in the stands, have your binoculars tuned in on those two guys.
All right, so I didn't mean to cut you off on the larger picture of the matchup. How do you feel in the overall?
Minnesota's good, man. They play good defense, take the ball away a ton.
They're opportunistic, aren't they?
They play good defense. One of the most entertaining safeties to watch play the game, and I'm not a big fan of watching safeties play, but watching Harrison Smith still with some of the IQ, the football IQ that he plays the game with is fun. I think that their coach, Kevin O'Connell, is one of the best coaches in football. I mean, who else can win with quarterbacks that he's been winning with? It's truly amazing.
Yeah, Sam Darnold's having a hell of a year. Justin Jefferson, what are you doing if you're Ryan Nielsen this week to make sure that he doesn't go off for 180 on you?
Well, you better not leave him alone, covered by one guy. If you do, you will pay. I mean, you better put 2 on them. You better put your best guy on them. You better do something different than just playing your defense. Because if you play your defense and you just, hey, we're going to match them up how we match them up, it'll be a long day. Because, I mean, he would absolutely thrive in the situation that leaving him like that.
All right, we'll get some final thoughts from Jeff Lageman here on a Check the Tape Tuesday coming up. But first, let's welcome in Helmets and Heels.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Injury Care Centers, the exclusive provider of BioTarget regenerative therapy for pain. Visit GoBioTarget.com for a location near you.
All right, Taylor Dahl, do you have any answers for us? For
I've
anything.
been trying,
for
I
anything.
promise. I've been trying. All of my tangents have been me digging into, I did one on drops and what the possible issues with Jacksonville and drops have been today. My tangent, I'm actually getting into the third down defense because it's very bad. So we're going to go into some of those numbers. I don't know the solution. Maybe in these numbers we can find something. But yeah, there's just a lot of problems, and it feels like the moment you have any hope in a game, something pushes them backwards.
It is crazy, that stat about, converting 3rd and 15 or longer.
Yeah.
8% league-wide, and the Jags are giving it up almost 40% of the time.
The number that's really staggering to me is explosive plays allowed. Here's a number for you. The Jaguars defense have allowed a league-high 78 explosive plays, which an explosive play is a run of 12 yards or more or a pass reception of 16 yards or more. So that's at a clip of about 8.7 per game. I mean, you can't win in the National Football League when you have those kind of explosive plays. And then on top of that, you're not playing well on third down. You're one of the bottom 3 in the league. And then your red zone, you're like, I think, the bottom in the league.
Yeah.
2 1/4 is bad?
Yes.
Not good. Not good.
All right, so what do you have coming up today, Taylor?
Yeah, so we'll talk about that a little bit. We'll talk about some of the other NFL trade deadline things as they start to come out. We also are giving out our midseason. Last week we did our midseason college football awards. Now we're going to do our NFL awards this week. So it'll be fun.
All right, tomorrow we're probably doing the midseason Jaguars stuff as well, and I'm sure there'll be people who will be upset about that because they were after the quarter poll, but that's kind of what we do around these parts. Taylor, have a great show.
Make people upset.
We talk about the team that we could just every day we could do the same thing over and over and over again, but that would be quite boring.
Yes.
All right, have a good show today.
Thank you.
Taylor Dahl and the Helmets and Heels crew coming your way. Logs, what do you have on the agenda this week?
We got Jaguars Happy Hour, me and JP Shadrick, starting at 4 o'clock, and then the Coaches Show at 5, and then Jaguars All Access Thursday night at Strings, and our guest this week, I think, is Evan Ingram.
Okay, there you go.
Easy.
Saquon Barkley, Evan Ingram, be a hell of a dunk contest.
You know what? I mean, that play that he had in the game, I mean, just how do you do that?
Well, we will if he gets inducted in the Hall of Fame, it'll be the first play in his highlight reel. It'll be the first play.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and then they'll show a bunch of long runs and other stuff. And
here's the other thing. We talked about this, I think, in our broadcast, is that if you're the Giants and if you're the Raiders, how do you especially with your quarterback situation being what it was in both situations, how can you let those two backs go, Josh Jacobs and obviously Saquon Barkley?
I was told by a Vegas reporter that they actually thought Zamir White was better than Josh Jacobs. Better than Jacobs. And that's why they were content to. I'm just telling you, which may be why Antonio Pierce has fired half of his offensive coaching staff already in his first full year on the job. All right, Logs, appreciate the service.
Thank you, boys.
See you next Tuesday. For Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark, and Jeff Lageman, I'm Mike Dempsey. Thanks for checking in on a Check the Tape Tuesday. This has been Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dan.